The cryptocurrency derivatives market has made headlines quite frequently in recent months due to increasingly high volumes. Even since the first of the year, new all-time highs have been achieved, new products have been launched, and new traders have entered the market. Indeed, when the Chicago Mercantile Exchange announced its Bitcoin options offering in mid-September, the exchange's global head of equity index and alternative investment products, Tim McCourt, said that there was, quote, increasing client demand for such products. Since the launch of its BTC options, volume has increased significantly. Similarly, trading volume on cryptocurrency exchange Bakkt has seen a number of high-volume trading days since the beginning of the year, though its all-time high still sits in December of 2019. Will this trend toward growth in the crypto derivatives market continue, or is the recent growth just another phase in crypto history? Recently, finance magnates sat down with Jack Tao, Chief Executive Officer at cryptocurrency derivatives exchange Phemex, to explore the ways that cryptocurrency derivatives markets are continuing to change and grow, what's working, and what needs to change. Jack co-founded the Singapore-based exchange alongside 8 other ex-Morgan Stanley executives in August of 2019. Prior to that, Jack spent 11 years at Morgan Stanley, where he worked as the global development leader for the bank's electronic trading benchmark execution strategies. Jack, first of all, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and the work that you do and how you got involved with cryptocurrency in the first place?
It's a long story. I'll keep it short. So
Okay.
since I graduated in 2008, which is exactly the financial crisis, I joined Morgan Stanley in Shanghai office, and 4.5 years later, I relocated to the headquarters 2012. 2012, I think. This I think it's October.
Okay.
So since then, been working Morgan Stanley for the equity trading business. We call it MSAT, Morgan Stanley Electronic Trading business for
Mm-hmm.
11 years. And by the time I left the company, I was the global dev leader for our trading system.
Wow,
So our
okay.
trading system is basically facing institutional clients. They're trading like billions every day. And through the years since the financial crisis, the regulation has become a big problem for those brokers. We spend a lot of money to change the system, to change our working flow, to make sure everything is compliant. Right. So I was a part of that, and that's basically my experience in Morgan Stanley. And our system is all high frequency trading system. And I start looking into crypto in 2017, early 2017. I heard about Bitcoin back to 2012, but I didn't take it serious. But after that, in 2017, a lot of my friends asked me to, hey, you have to read this paper. And then I spent my weekend and I really read the Satoshi's paper. I get instantly hooked. So
Okay.
then I started to look up all those papers, what he said about what's doing, and it's really amazing. It's kind of first sight love.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
The reason is I work on the business, working on with Morgan Stanley for this brokerage business, and the blockchain gave me this impression that this is very similar to it's a real financial platform.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about internet solved the problem that you can transfer informations like globally instantly, right? And but there's no such technology or platform allowed you transfer values. But Bitcoin and blockchains offers this possibility. It's not perfect, but it has a great potential. I was shocked by the great ideas. There's a lot of the technology and methodology used in this platform. And at that time, I think Ether and ICO get started. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember I bought my first Ether at $4, around $4.
Oh, wow.
And just a couple weeks later, the price skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was coincidence. I didn't expect that the price to go up that quickly, and then you know the story afterwards, right?
Yeah, that was, I mean, yeah, that you were one of the really early investors sort of in Ethereum.
Yeah, I have a couple friends. They bought Ether at like a 1 cent. So even back in
Wow.
2016, so we've been talking about this potential the potential of this platform, and it was a really exciting year for cryptos. And at that time, then we start to say you have to have an entry point to buy bitcoins, buy ethers, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then I look into, I think in North America, Coinbase is the one, the biggest one, right? I have a cup on my desk that said Coinbase to collect my coins.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's a good name. I like the company, and but at that time the system is not good enough. Like I remember they have the flash crash because they don't have the price band check, and some during the crash, and a
So there's
lot of
a flash
people
crash on Coinbase or a flash?
for a crash on Coinbase.
Okay, yeah.
If I remember correctly, it's 2017. And it triggered margin calls after margin calls after margin calls. The Ether price dropped from around 300 all the way to like 10 cents. And someone bought
Yeah.
1,000 Ethers at 10 cents.
Oh,
And
man.
it was just an example. And there is other examples, like a lot of exchange. The technology is kind of not mature at that time. Even there are a lot of, and also there's a report in some Asian exchange get hacked, and or the founder just pooped, right? So there's a lot of bad news and scammers. So I didn't feel upset about this news. I feel that exciting because it shows there's opportunity for real player to build some real good products in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's my first thought. So then we start to form the team. We build out a network to find a good resource, and also trying to find a good angle to enter this market. But our goal is always want to build a sophisticated and mature exchange, so that people can exchange the cryptos safely on our platform. Right.
Right.
After 2 years, and after 2 years that we finally got these opportunities, and I quit my job and joined my partners and open our own shop.
And that's Phemex, right?
That's Phemex, yes.
Yes. Okay. So tell us a little bit, more specifically about what Phemex offers. What does it?
So right. So we are cryptocurrency derivatives trading platform.
Mm-hmm.
So we're focusing on derivatives tradings right now.
Okay.
Very short. Very simple, and the idea is that we want to empower everyone to trade simply and safely, right? So lots of derivatives are very complicated products, financial products compared to spot markets like stocks, and so it's usually not easy for retail customers to understand or operate.
Mm-hmm.
And we find this there's a lot of work can be done in this field to make the capital entry level lower to the retail customers, and we feel really excited about this.
Okay. So on Phemex's website, it describes itself as the quote the world's most trustworthy cryptocurrency derivatives trading platform. So what about Phemex makes it so trustworthy?
There's a couple of things. So we're trying to build the most trustworthy cryptocurrency. exchange in the world, right? So, and we put a client first as one of our core values,
Mm-hmm.
and lots of the two main co-founders, actually the three main co-founders is from Morgan Stanley, and we know how to do it correctly in the financial world, and that's the main difference with other exchanges team. So what Phemex is trying to build is we're building trust. So the exchange is still centralized. The most
Okay.
popular exchange is centralized in this decentralized world. It's quite
Mm-hmm.
funny, right? So sometimes people will think why it's lots of people arguing about we don't want to decentralize things here, and in blockchain everything should be centralized. But we have a different view of this. For cryptos, it's an early stage of cryptos, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing every year there's many users come into this field and become a doctor, they start to become believers, and they need an enter point, the crypto world. So exchange plays a critical role to connect the people from traditional financial world to the crypto financial world,
Right.
right? And especially in early stage, that it's a necessary platform for users. But as a same as a traditional financial services, that trustworthy uh, is very important for customers, because
Right. Right.
they put their monies and savings into a platform. You have to make sure it's safe and it's a fair platform for users. So that's my 11 years experience in Morgan Stanley. That you have to put a client first, and
Mm-hmm.
always thought about the client, what do they need, how to make sure their fund is safe, instead of just thinking about making money.
Right. I think that's really important. I think that's a lesson that the cryptocurrency world is having to learn the hard way a lot of the time. You as a person who came from traditional finance, that was something that you had from the very beginning. But have you noticed that this is something that the rest of the cryptocurrency world is sort of catching up on, or maybe isn't catching up on? What are your thoughts?
And that's a good question. I think lots of companies are trying to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good, definitely, if it's make money. A lot of people quitting their job, change their jobs to devote themselves into this field. Everything want to build something good, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
money put into cryptos. There's a lot of research ongoing, happening, and even some players, it's not as good as. There are a lot of scams and all involve some money laundering things, and bad things happens. It's a savage, it's a young field, and everything could happen, right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
think about good side, that I believe more and more people our team, they really believe in this platform. They really really want to do something good. More and more those companies will be established in the following years. And even for existing platform like Binance, right? Steam is great. Personally, we know a lot of team members. They have a lot of team members from Morgan Stanley as well.
Mm-hmm.
We know them well, and they're doing pretty good in a lot of a lot of places.
Yeah.
So, and regulatory is coming afterwards. The regulators try to make this safer. That's all good trends for cryptos. So I think overall, maybe in 5 years or even sooner, this market will become more and more safer and better.
Yeah, yeah, I certainly hope so. So when exactly was Phemex established?
We officially the firm officially started in August 2019.
Okay, so fairly recently. So I'm curious. Since you've launched, even though it was less than a year ago, there's been some pretty significant changes, like perhaps in the futures space in crypto. The launch of Backed and uh, you know lots of other sort of attention being focused on derivatives. So, in your observation, since Phemex was established, what kind of action have you seen on your own exchange as well as in the crypto derivative space as a whole? Have you seen any big shifts happening, or one way or the other, or has it been sort of a slow build in your opinion?
For our company ourselves, we actually didn't change much. Our development phase is really quick. We start August. We deliver our product in the end of November 25th. So the changes in the market didn't really change our strategies or our product. And but we really let's see, excuse me. So we actually follow those news tightly, and we try to understand what change coming. And there's lots of regulation, like there's a travel rule, and Singapore MSA announced some friendly news that they're gonna issue license to derivatives exchange. So so we think something developing, and good and bad, but to our products, it didn't change much.
Okay. Have you have you observed any any changes in the derivatives market as a whole? I mean, or perhaps changes that have informed what you see happening in the year ahead in the crypto derivatives market?
Yeah, definitely the user space increased a lot, but that's our expectation as well, because in traditional market that usually the volume is like 100 times. Derivative market, including OTC market, is like usually 100 times compared to the spot market, right? So, but that wasn't the case like a year ago, and developing, a lot of people started trading derivatives. Lots of companies doing great job for marketing and promoting, and so for the young generations, they all know how to program. They know math well, and they know how to trade, right? And I don't. So even the user space are growing, but we don't feel surprised, but because that's just our expectation. And we're looking forward to this year. We believe that the crypto, more and more people will enter cryptocurrency, and more and more traders in the world will pick one or two exchange to do that daily trading.
Right, and hopefully it'll be Phemex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So
we're doing our best.
Right. So is Phemex, are you serving one particular geographic region, or is Phemex a global exchange?
It's a global exchange, but we do ban IP for some countries since the regulation concern.
Right. Okay. Can you, because you're a global exchange and you're headquartered in Asia, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, do you see differences in the derivatives market in Asia than, compared to perhaps the United States or, the EU in terms of how many users you're getting? And do you think if so, do you think that's reflective of differences in the market, or perhaps just differences in who's using your particular exchange?
So we have some inside data, not just from Phemex or from other exchanges.
Okay.
And actually, the user space is quite evenly spread out. Okay. So it's not one particular country contribute to the most trading volume. It's quite like maybe 1/3 in Asia, 1/3 in Europe, and the other 1/3 in North America.
Okay, so yeah, very evenly spread.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So you don't want like one part of the earth that some people control the price of the cryptocurrency, right?
Yes, that is a very good point. Definitely. Um, yes, and another thing that happened this year, with the launch of Backed was the launch of the first ever physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts. But those contracts and arguably a few other products, not necessarily futures, but other products that were sort of geared toward institutional investors throughout 2019 launched and then didn't really totally meet expectations, in terms
That
of how many people were going to use them. So what do you think that happened? And do you think it'll be different this year?
you're talking about the back
Yeah,
BAKT.
yeah, Bax. Yes, exactly. Bax launch, and then there was a few other things like VanEx, Bitcoin Trust that they launched, and small things that were for institutional investors.
I think there are two folds. One is the background of the company, and they trying to be more regulated, and the other thing is their targeted users.
Hmm.
So their product is quite big. So one contract, and this is not friendly to retail users, and their leverage is low. I think it's two times leverage or three times leverage. I may be wrong,
Hmm.
but those products are mainly for the big players and the all institutional clients. It's not for retail. But the spirit of the cryptocurrency world is the financial freedom, and lots of people like they just uh, they just want to register with the email and trade something simple and easy and fast,
Hmm.
right? And they don't they may not have much capital to trade the large entire Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoins, but they have some money they can allocate to invest, right? So
Hmm.
that's a big difference about in terms of targeting user and production line. And lots of other companies like Binance and the Bitmex, each contract is usually $1 or even cheaper, and that's more friendly to retail customers who do not doesn't have much money and they still want to trade, right? That's
Hmm.
a big difference. And the other thing is the leverage. I know Bitmex is the same as Phemex, so we offer like 100 times leverage, which may sound crazy in traditional financial world. Uh, I will talk about this a little bit later. And Binance offer like up to 125 times leverage, right?
Yeah.
There's some concern, but also there's some thoughts on those production design. And for high leverage, it's very risky compared to the traditional markets. But but the crypto exchange developed this kind of risk limit, say that if you only open some position with very small notional, you can use high leverage. It's totally fine, right? But if
Hmm.
your position is bigger, the leverage has to be lower, right? This
Right.
is a one.
Okay.
It's a kind of protection on those high leverage, and lots of companies, including Phemex, we made a lot of tutorials uh, to 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 educate users how to trade, how to use the leverage correctly, right? But we can see that's why those exchanges was so popular, because that those leverage and the fee is cheaper and it's more convenient to trade. The exchange is available non-stop. It's available all year around, and all of those features of the product and the operation uh, makes those exchange better than BAKT, in my opinion.
Right. I see. So, can you talk about when it comes to other crypto futures derivatives trading platforms? I mean, do you see those platforms as competition, or is your strategy for getting more users not to take them from other exchanges, but instead to onboard new exchange or excuse me, new users who maybe haven't traded crypto derivatives before? What's your strategy when it comes to getting new users?
So that's a good question. That first, since we expect user space will keep growing in coming years, and we think all those exchange who is trying to provide a better product will win eventually. And there are some competitors, as I mentioned, Binance, Phemex, they're good players, and we don't fear of competition at all. One reason is that we have a very strong tech team. We believe we can deliver a better product. Second is competition benefits for everyone, even for exchange. Between exchange, we make our service better. We make the product polished even better, and the client can get benefit from like a trading bonus and the lower fees and a better service, etc. So the competition is good, especially in early stage. And it's both. So it's both, yeah. So we only have 3 contracts right now. Bitcoin, US dollar is one of our biggest product, have most volume, and which is it is designed in the same way as Phemex. And the reason is a lot of users, existing users, they already get used to the design of the similar products. So we definitely looking forward to have more experienced traders to use our platform. And for new users, of course, that the other 2 products, which is settled by the US dollar, nominal US dollar, and it's more friendly for a new joiner to understand, and those products are more suitable for them.
Okay, I see. Can you tell us a little bit about what's on the roadmap for Phemex over the next year?
Yeah, we have a lot actually coming.
Okay, great.
So yeah, so 2020 will be an exciting year for Phemex, and also will be a very important year for Phemex. Our Russian and Korean version just released, I think a couple of days ago, and other languages like Japanese and traditional Chinese is also on our roadmap. So our mobile app coming very soon. So I think the Google App Store is almost ready. We need a little bit more time for the Apple Store, and we're also going to add more trading symbols. So we currently, one of our goal is that we want to establish a bridge between the traditional financial and the crypto financial.
Right, yes.
So the way is that our idea is that we can have all those cryptos holders to purchase any products easily on our platform. So in 2020, we have this plan to initiate some indexed perpetual contracts like S&P or MSCI or E-minis. So on the platform of the perpetual contract. So if you hold Bitcoin, you can buy those index as well. So that can give an extra power to those investors to trade products globally. At the same time, on our platform, that we're preparing actually a performance demo, because we, as lots of reporters in those journalists or reporters, we have claimed that our trading performance is better than the other platform. We are trying to enable a feature in our testnet, which everyone can try it out to show that Phemex platform is able to trade in the high trading volume. So there's a demo already ready. We made a YouTube video for introduction, and we're trying to more attention to this demo. So one of the big problem for exchange, as I mentioned, is performance, right? And the nature of cryptos is volatile, and it can have like up 10% or down 30% easily in a very short time, and traders has to rely on the performance of the platform to close their position or open new position quickly, so they can capture opportunities, or they can avoid the risks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of platform, even for tier one exchange, they failed to solve the overloading and performance issue. Order gets rejected when there's high trading volume, or you can barely send in the orders on those things. Users have to face those liquidation, which will cost you more than necessary. So we try to solve this problem. We have a very strong tech team to do that, and we want to demonstrate this. We're preparing this white paper to introduce our core architecture. We'll be the very first one to share those kind of information and provide a live demo to the world. And that's one big event coming. And I think what else? There's so many. Oh, we just launched a puzzle, by the way. So,
a puzzle?
Yeah. So we have this artwork puzzle. We hide 2.1 Bitcoin in this puzzle.
Okay.
So just you can look up our Twitter account.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, Phemex _ official. So the puzzle is basically we hide the private key in the picture, and whoever can solve this problem, he can transfer the 1.1 Bitcoin to his own wallet, and we will additionally we will reward 1 Bitcoin trade bonus to the first guy that solved this puzzle.
Okay.
And if you cannot solve it, you can retweet your friend, whoever you think might able to solve the problem, or might know someone else who solved the problem. So you get extra $100 trading bonus. So whoever found the first people to solve it.
Okay, that's so much fun. Jack, thank you so much for your time. It's been such a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much, Rachel.